Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to the grand finals of the Korean StarCraft League. Today we have Dark versus Gumiho, kicking off here with a proxy barracks on the bottom side of the map, near Dark's base. So we're playing on Post Youth. This is one of the two maps that has an in-base. Dynasty also with an in-base. We see Dark take it. Did he take a gas as well? Yep, there we go. Takes a gas. I'm not sure if that was a response to anything or if he just did it for banter. Ooh. Gumiho isn't done yet. He is not done at all. He opened up with just a standard barracks first, with a cheeky little Reaper. And now we're gonna see, I think, a second Reaper. And I'm feeling a factory over here. That is the only thing that makes any sense. I've never quite seen a build like this. I have not seen a build quite like this. Dark is scouting this, by the way. He's seeing the lack of a factory at home. He's now seeing a second gas being added into the mix. No, he's gonna build a factory at home. But this is for a starport. The Reaper is fighting. He's not gonna get any kills here. Dark is good enough to make sure that everything stays alive. Second Reaper comes in. A couple of links have been built. 8 links are out. Should be enough to deal with this threat. Is this just going to be a second factory? This guy's going to be patrolling here for a long time. Would not want to be him. Gonna get dizzy from that. All that back and forth. Barracks is going to fly in. It has to be a Hellion drop, right? It absolutely has to be a Hellion drop. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Or a proxy battlecruiser. It's a Cyclone. I have absolutely no clue what it is. A single link has just fallen. Reaper goes down. That's a bad trade. 25 minerals to 50 minerals, 50 gas. Barracks going down also pretty much tells Dark here that nothing big is going to come out of this. It's like it's not going to be a fat marine push. There's a third CC that starts. Right in range of this Overlord. Is this actually proxy battlecruiser? I just don't know what this is. It's proxy Banshee and fusion core. Okay, it is gonna be proxy battlecruiser in our first game. I have actually never seen this at a high level like this, or really in any way, shape, or form. There's a couple of things that worry me here. Dark has spotted the lack of a starport despite seeing 2 gases. Now, sometimes in these types of situations, it is difficult to kind of read in between the lines. Like you're seeing a high gas count. That should tell you something. It really should if you're Dark. But it is possible that he's not really connecting the dots. It wouldn't surprise me though, yeah. If you're just gonna start looking around. Because this is highly suspicious. It really is highly suspicious. No starport, double gas. Like these alarm bells, they should be ringing. Barracks not doing anything either. I mean, Dark has a lot of time anyway. He saw it was just a Cyclone as a start. Now it's gonna find this starport. I'm having a tough time seeing how Gumiho is gonna recover from this. Because he has really no production at home whatsoever. He has 2 Hellions out on the map. Look at that. Dark is already ready to intercept those Hellions. He knows they're coming. This is a fake cloak as well. I mean, this just shouldn't work. Here come the cars. The cars are walking right into this trap. Gonna get attacked by a bunch of these links. I just don't see them survive. As yeah, Cloak is gonna get cleared first here, but this medevac, or sorry, this battlecruiser is never gonna come out. We have no extra factories being built here either. And this is a good attempt, but it is a failed attempt. It's time to give up this position. You can't just keep sending units here into the Ling slaughterhouse. But this is not good. It absolutely is not. GG gets called, and after 5 minutes. Dark wins game number 1 against a proxy battlecruiser build. Alright, it seems like Gumiho has a plan, and he's keen on executing that plan as well, because he's hitting us with pretty much the same build. I love how confident he is in his low ground CC here as well. I think that's very cool. And I do wonder that if you put, you spread your eggs a little bit more over different baskets, if this is just a worthwhile opening altogether. Like, it is an interesting one. What do you gain with it? What do you lose? So, thing number one that you gain is obviously time on the first Reaper and time on the second Reaper, right? You're there much earlier. You're forcing out a lot of extra links. Usually you're not fighting against 8 links this early. You're significantly delaying your opponent's third base as well, which also shouldn't quite be the case in a standard game. What are you losing with this? Well, usually the barracks actually is fairly inactive in the Terran base, or at least when it comes to unit production. It produces a reactor, which is what you're going to be missing with this build. So pumping out Hellions 2x2 is going to just be a little bit harder. What else are you missing? Well, you're going to miss a fast tech lab. And because Gumiho uses this to scout, he says, hey, I don't actually want these things so much. I just, I'm okay with it. I'm just going to use this thing to scout, and I'm going to play mech behind it. So he's kind of making up for the things that he's lacking with this opener. He went for triple Reaper this time around. I'm afraid he's just barely not going to be capable of scouting what's happening here. Although you'll see the complete lack of drones in the natural, and that should actually be quite a decent tell. We have a bunch of banelings now coming out, because we are baneling busting this follow-up. It's going to be triple CC. There's going to be some Hellions on the way. Oh my god, there's so many links. Look at that. 21 links, 6 Banes. Good luck here, my dear friend. I don't really see you holding this. Actually, I don't actually see a way humanly possible to hold this. Double E-base coming in to block at least, no, nothing. He managed to block nothing with both of these E-base. Reapers now coming in as well over here. Just going to be microed back at least a little bit. As we have, well, what do we have? Actually a defense. This one Hellion is putting in a lot of works. Only 6 workers going down right now. Don't forget, it is 3 base versus 2 base. If Gumiho survives really in any way, shape or form, he's going to be in a great spot. He really is. He's going to be moving forward right now. If he gets a rewall here, that would be phenomenal. Starts by targeting some of these Banelings. Reapers can tank. Hellions ideally should not be tanking. The control here is very good, except for that. Losing that Hellion is a little bit sloppy. Reaper's not going down quite yet. One might end up falling right now. Next Hellion pops out, don't forget. Reactor has been taken out as well. Liberator on the way. Could help secure this ramp, of course. And could definitely help with sniping Banelings. Gumiho is going to hold with 22 workers remaining. 1 extra command center over his opponent. And Dark really with no possibility of dealing damage. Sometimes after these pushes, at least the Zerg is left over with, let's say 15, 20 links. So you have that ability to go for a run by. But that's not what's happened here. Dark, in this case, has basically no links left over. So even a run by to try and kill some workers later on when the Hellion Reaper moves on the map is not going to be very viable. Gumiho decides to follow this up with a Liberator and a second Liberator. That's going to allow him not just to deal damage, but also to scout through the act of aggression. Often trying to harass a little bit is a great way of scouting as well. So here comes the Lib. He's going to get at least 2 kills here because I think Dark is not fast enough. Needs to... Ooh, actually, Gumiho not with target fire. As a result, only going to get a single drone. Perfect defense here for Dark. Ooh, yeah, just a single drone against the Lib. That is a phenomenal trade here. And if Dark wasn't down a base, I'd be very happy for him. But right now, it's difficult to be happy for someone that's even in workers against a Terran who's up an orbital command. In income, you have a little bit more gas here, as we can see for the Terran player, as well as a little bit more minerals at the mule peaks when they return. You see, it just peaks a little bit whenever these 3 mules, they return some minerals. So overall, I think, yeah, definitely an income advantage for Gumiho. On top of that, also a tech advantage for Gumiho, where Gumiho is already quickly teching into triple factory, good infrastructure, double armory. We have a Banshee on the way. We see Dark kind of stuck in the past. He's reliving his caveman era. He's going to build a bunch of Roaches, and now we see a Ravager being added into the mix as well. I mean, if you're adding Ravagers defensively, that is bad. If he's adding them aggressively, he's delusional, because there's absolutely no way in hell that a 7-minute, 7-8 Roach, 1 Ravager, 20 Link push is going to do anything. He's on 3 gases, so he's setting up for it. He's going to run around. The only way this is going to work in a million years is if both Banshees get hit by bile shots. I think there's 2 Banshees, right? No, it's just 1, okay. So this Banshee needs to be hit by bile shots. He then needs to lose his entire Hellion Cyclone army, ideally outside of his wall, and then maybe Dark has a chance. But it is a very, very thin chance. Gumiho has figured out what's going on as well. So yeah, if Gumiho were to fall down right now because of a stroke, I think it would be a close battle. A very close battle. But yeah, if he's behind the wall, you're gonna get 3 depots. This is not a 3 depot type of push, you know? This is not a 3 depot type of push, my dear friend. This is a 6 depot and potentially trying to take down an orbital command or something. Dead on arrival. Gumiho's holding this while floating about 1400 minerals as well. And you have triple factory production at this point. You have more Banshees coming in. This is a theoretically impossibility for Dark. He's gonna add 10 more drones. I think he should have done that earlier. He must have overestimated his position a little bit, because usually Dark tries to play for the highest percentage chance of winning. And I agree, he doesn't have good chances in a macro game, but he legit had 0 chances in a non-macro game. He knew there was a starport. He knew it was Mac. Yeah, I think this was just a bad call. Although all calls were pretty mediocre. GG gets thrown out there as Gumiho takes game number 2 and ties up this series. Game number 3 is going to be the first game without a proxy Rex. Gumiho decides to just scout with his SCV rather than building a building on the other side of the map. And Dark decided to open up with a fast triple hatch, actually. This is a hatch pool hatch, I think is what we would call it. Queen in the natural, 4 links as well. And then we get our second queen out at the same time. Reaper's gonna make its way across the map as the SCV... Ooh. The SCV is maneuvering around. And this Marine is very keen on taking out this Overlord. This Overlord is instrumental right now. It just barely doesn't cover the entire ramp, actually. So maybe this Overlord wouldn't have seen the SCV return if it had returned. But it didn't return, because it is here in the bottom left corner. And it's going to be proxying... Well, I hope it is a starport. This isn't a battlecruiser position, though. This is a battlecruiser position. This is more of a starport position. So I'm feeling Hellions. I'm feeling a Hellion proxy. I felt a Hellion proxy before and then it was battlecruisers. This time I'm feeling a Hellion proxy and it is going to be Hellion. Or well, it's a starport medevac proxy, but it's going to be a Hellion drop at least. Reaper here is moving around, checking how many drones there are. Usually there's 0, so he's like, okay, confirmed. No drones. Nothing weird going on here, guys. Did he spot the fact that this was gasless, by the way? Ooh. Oh, he spotted it with his SCV and then made the executive call to go for this as a response. This was not a planned attack. Wait, it's a Liberator. Okay, I am losing my mind a little bit. I actually thought it was brilliant. It's like, oh, you see, no speed on the links, then a drop is going to be great because you're only going to be defending with queens, and queens are going to be at the front, and the Hellions, they come in the back. And it's going to be, you can shoot from the high ground, you can shoot in the main ground, you can shoot everywhere, basically. But now it's a Liberator, and I'm confused. And it is a fusion core. Jesus. What if he tricked me twice, the prick? Okay, listen to this. He's gonna build the Liberator from here. Then he picks up this thing, flies it to the left, and gets a starport with a tech lab over here. I've had all my predictions have been wrong so far. So I'm looking forward to this one too. Come on. Don't let me down. Oh, but he did fly to the left a little bit. Not quite as far left as I thought he would, but you know, he's a little left. A little lefty. Left of center, for sure. Okay, Liberator Siege is up. I mean, this just doesn't make any sense to me. And I'll explain to you why it doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm actually a bit upset about this. There's 3 reasons why this doesn't make sense to me. Reason 1 is probably the most important one. Dark has a brain. So that means that reason 2 and 3 will most likely be interpreted by Dark. Oh, hold that thought. No, Hellion's not gonna go in. So, first of all, this is the 4th base location. This is where Zergs take their 4th. So if he was taking a 4th, he would take it there. Here. And he would see this. Second of all, that Liberator timing was off. It was too fast, and thus Dark should be capable of realizing that it's proxied. Wait, does that drone actually see it? If he goes into the hatchery in the middle, it might just barely be out of range. Oh, no way. Okay, yeah, Dark just figured it out anyway, because he's not an idiot. Yeah, the reason one really was the biggest one. The fact that Dark has a brain. Like, how can you get spotted twice? He's gonna get one battlecruiser out. Then he's gonna have to lift it up, but at least he gets the BC out. I mean, you can't just let it stand there. He's gonna die. Because he wanted to kill one more roach. Trick it a little bit. He's not chasing. He's actually not gonna kill these roaches. I am shook right now, my friends. I actually am shook. Battlecruiser is eating. They're having a good old time. He's actually gonna get a cancel on this hatchery as well, which is cool. Hellions, meanwhile, trying to go forward, maybe get a kill or something. Cyclones are nearby, could help out with that kill. Liberator's heading in towards the natural. Oh, this bait is dead. Absolutely. I think it's worth it to just tank some damage on this BC. Absolutely. Oh, no cancel as well. Gumiho, you beast. Distracting enough that Dark forgets a cancel. That is a rare feat. A unique trait that only Gumiho has. Oh, you see no teleports in here. He's gonna clear this thing. An interesting teleport that definitely has some risk. He's not gonna go in deeper. If this queen hadn't been here, he can fly 5, 6 drones. Piss off. Now only 4 drones and piss off. This is not a great Hellion count. Like, did he lose his Cyclones? Or did he just... How do you lose Cyclones against slow roaches? I don't know how it happens, but it happened apparently. SCVs are going to be pulled off the line. And the last game I said, this is not an attack that needs to just kill 3 depots. But this pretty much is an attack that just needs to kill like a depot and 4 workers. It's going to get 8 workers and a depot. It's going to lose everything. Might catch another Hellion here as well in the dying seconds of this push. See, I thought this is what he was going to do earlier. I can't believe that he's continuing his proxy. A 4th base as well. He's planning on out-expanding his opponent here. He's down 30 supply and about 15, 16, 17 workers. That is okay. I'm fine with this. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. That's no problemo. It's just a weird game. Double armory coming down after the 4th base. Like, Gumiho has these periods where he really gets into mech, you know? I sometimes have this with the Beatles. Where you just wake up one day, it's like, oh, here comes the sun. And you go down like the list, and there's like 40 Beatles songs. And you're like, oh, they're all good. I like this. And then you think back of that period, like 5 months away. It's like, yeah, I really like the Beatles that much. And then it kind of rinses and repeats over the years. And it's the same with Gumiho. Gumiho, or mech is to Gumiho what the Beatles are to me. Like every now and then I can really get into them. And you'll still like... It's not like Gumiho completely blasts mech at some point either, you know? They still play it occasionally, just like I'll occasionally play like Come Together, you know? Like, it's nice, you know? But not just playlist upon playlist with like 35 Beatles songs and then 1 new song that you heard on the radio. So you can have, you know, you're still cool, one of the kids. That's Gumiho with mech. Like, play a little bit bio. Mech. Proxy BC. I cannot believe that Dark is letting this happen, by the way. Yeah. He should have shut this down much faster. This really is a shame. It really is a shame. And I can't believe that we're seeing Roach Hydra against mech here. This is one of these things that we rarely get to see. We rarely get to witness. Usually we see a heavier Baling count. It's true. He's gonna snipe a Hydra. No individual unit micro. Oh, didn't pull that back either. Probably busy doing something else. Still, it's nice to criticize people that are better at everything when they finally make a mistake. Okay. PC goes in, kills his Overlord. Poof. Plops down. This is one of these roach attacks. If anyone else does this, you just lose like 15 roaches. The Dark does it, he gets like 4 worker kills. He actually grows a new roach. Well, I thought he started with like 15, he ends up with 17. It's like, that doesn't even make any sense. This is not how this game is supposed to work, Dark. Yeah, well, I don't know either, it just happened. It's like these very talented kids, you know. They're very good at something and they don't really know how they're doing it either. I feel the same with Dark often. You like kind of sit down in front of the PC and you win tournaments. That's what you do. That's the prick. This seems like it's in the wrong position, huh? Idiot. Why would you put it in the wrong position? Don't you know you have better mining if you put it closer to the minerals? A huge blunder here by Dark. Someone should tell him that this base is the same, just like all other bases. If you actually put it closer to the minerals, you get more. Nidus network on the way. Just a single one for now. In the past, we've seen Dark be very trigger happy with Niduses. Sometimes gets 2 or 3 Nidus networks and then puff, 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 worms everywhere, baby. Just like that. No, you need to go for the deworming protocol. Absolute hell. Especially if they do finish. Ooh, a couple of Vipers. This is a very odd attack. Control of Dark is good as always. Gonna lose both of his Vipers. No, what? I thought these Yamatos were gonna be for the Vipers. He decided to put them on Roaches or Hydras instead. I'm not sure if I like that. Actually, I'm sure that I don't like that. Viper is by far the most important tool here that the Zerg has, and also the most expensive unit. Terran is going to survive. Loses a lot of his tanks, though. Only 4 tanks remaining. Battlecruiser stays alive. Good unit control here by Gumiho. Although this Viper goes back home. Like, one of the advantages, well, actually, the main advantage of clearing Vipers is that the sequence of building Viper, getting energy, is very long. So if you can skip one part of that sequence, that building the Viper, then you already cut... I actually don't know how long a Viper builds. I think it's like 35 or... It feels like 43 seconds. 40? 30 seconds? It's long. 30 seconds, I think, a Viper. I'll figure it out. I'll tell you guys in the next game. But yeah, if you can cut that, that's great. Ooh, I like this too. It's gonna go into Swarm Host. Actually, do I like this? I mean, I don't mind it. It is rare to see, though. This is also rare to see because it is Dark taking a really bad fight. The reason why Swarm Hosts are so rare is because they uber suck against air units. And there's still 2 air units out in these battle cruisers. We have 14 Swarm Hosts. The first wave is going to be a banger, but it needs to be a banger. Like, this is not an army composition where you kill like 2 turrets, or like this is not the type of way where you kill 2 turrets and you're happy. Like, you're gonna need to kill some serious crap. 2 Vikings are out already, and here comes the Swarm Host wave. It's gonna get scanned. Oh, he's just gonna get some depots. My friend, this is not a roach push. You need more than that. Okay, Nidus Worm is gonna get taken out. Starport lifts, so does the command center. What? They gonna fly? Ooh, this army is gonna get caught in the middle of the map. PC's gonna get survive. Oh, this is sieged. I think Gumiho is playing a little bit too cocky, I guess. I think he needs to take this a bit more serious. We want to start with turret defenses. I love the Cyclone transition. I think that is correct. Turrets, sensor towers. That is what we need. And then wherever the Swarm Hosts are, that's where we unsiege the tanks. And wherever the Swarm Hosts aren't, that is where we keep tanks sieged. Like, it is not rocket science. It is just regular science, which is also quite hard. This is 10 Hellions, 11 Cyclones, more Hellion Cyclones. So he really wants to be capable of kind of dealing with this on the fly. Get it? Fly. So you just lock on, you force them to land, and then you kind of kite them back. This is going to get 7, 8 workers, 10 workers. Really okay, because there is 7 orbitals. We have still 70 workers. I think the main issue for Gumiho, if you were to ask him right now, is the fact that he's playing a weak race, because that's what Terrans always say. But if you then ask about this specific game, he would probably tell you that the lack of a 5th base is starting to bother him a little bit. And it is starting to bother me a little bit as well. Because it's not great for him. It is really not great. It is actually quite bad. 13 Cyclones, 9 tanks. And god-awful upgrades on his units as well. Only 1-1 versus 3-3. Swarm Host Wave is going to come in. One couldn't predict it. The other side where he was earlier. So Dark is doing this brilliant thing where he doesn't attack the exact same spot twice, but he alternates with the angles. Doesn't quite work out. It's gonna kill, I think, 2 Cyclones. I think gets a tank. Gets 2 tanks. Gets 3 tanks. Okay, that was good. What the hell? That looked so bad at the start. And then it went okay. I hate to see it. Just keep trying. And you'll get it eventually. Gumiho is here. Is planning on pushing out across the map. I'm having difficulty seeing this succeed. Because there's so much cash in the bank here for Dark. And this army also isn't that great in a straight up engagement. It's okay at dealing with swarm hosts. I think that we should be going for a ghost transition, if anything. Or a higher battlecruiser count. That sounds stupid, but I think these things actually are quite good. Oh, this planetary could fall, actually. Actually, it is gonna fall. Is it? It's close. No, it's gonna fall. Absolutely. Do we have the armor upgrades for the building? No, we don't. Oh, Gumiho. Putting the ball a little bit here, aren't we? Yeah, no building armor, no long range on turrets and planetary, high-sec auto tracking, that's what it's called. Anti-air is a serious issue here, by the way, for Dark. Like, this type of flyby is a seriously troubling thing to deal with. Because there's just not that many, there's like 6 Hydras. 6 Hydras usually aren't enough. These are some insane blinding clouds, by the way, holy crap. I think he just captured 5 tanks in one blinding cloud. Dark is still losing this fight. That's going to hit a good fungal and maybe some vials. And battlecruiser absolutely ripping these queens to shreds. Vehicle plating putting in some work. Vials just connecting again and again and again though. Ah, this is really sad. More Hydras now on the way. I would have expected Corruptors, to be honest. But the army composition is already so odd that I guess you can't really add Corruptors when you have Swarmhost, Hydra, Infestor, 3 Ravagers. It's just gonna stick with his Hydras, which is freaking cool. I think the Hydra is actually my favorite Zerg unit. I don't know why, but I think it's fun. It has nice range, it moves funky. Swarmhost now coming in over here. Gonna get a lot of kills. Hydra's also showing up. A 1-2 punch there. First the Swarmhost, and then when the rest of the army arrives, you can send in the Hydras. Refinery's getting taken out. Ooh, it's gonna be an okay trade here for Dark. Dark has enough cash. It's gonna be okay with this, absolutely. Ooh, actually, this is a massive Hydra army now moving towards the top, and I do not believe that Gumiho is ready for it. He's gonna lose all of these orbital commands if he isn't careful. Even at this point, he can be very careful. He's still gonna lose these orbital commands, because he was a little bit out of position there. Not a single tank around. They've been wiped by the Swarmhost wave earlier. Now the Swarmhosts are coming in from the side. Yeah, battlecruiser count going up to 5. And that is nice. That is neat. That is beautiful. But I think it's a little bit late. Like, this is what I was talking about. If you have tank battlecruiser and battlecruisers in high numbers, they're really freaking powerful. Against Hydras. They're a little bit worse against Corruptors. That's why we're seeing a second Spire coming in as well. But they're freaking powerful against everything else. What's going on over here? Okay, we have some fungal boys. 5. We have 6, right? I saw a 6th one coming in soon. Yeah, we have 6 battlecruisers. This is an issue too. If you're Dark. Oh, battlecruiser is actually not being microed very well. That means that these Locusts might be capable of getting very close to these tanks and actually take out some of these tanks. That's 1, that's 2. Actually, it's just 1. No, it's 2. More tanks on the way. And I think the main problem for Gumiho now is the lack of cash. The complete lack of cash. He is mining from this base. He has new command centers on the way. But he just doesn't have the ability to build a lot of stuff. He has no upgrades on these battlecruisers, by the way. Just the vehicle plating, but no ship weapons. That means they're not going to be as strong as usual. Dark is happily mining from the top right. Now, it does need to be noted that Dark actually is trading better than his opponent. Holy crap, I had not expected that. There's also Neural on this, by the way. Oh, he's gonna get him. He's gonna get him. He's gonna get him. Swarmhost, Hydra, Roach, Infested Neural. What a composition. as Dark takes game number 3 and puts himself on match point. And in game number 4 we have honestly the most standard opener that we've seen so far in this series out of Gumiho. This is a triple CZ. 4 to 6, actually 6 to 8 Hellions with a Viking. Gonna have to wait and see how it's gonna go. It's actually not building a second gas. Don't know about that, boss. Think you're gonna need some gas at some point. It's also not building a tech lab. Oh, this is a Hellbat all in. Oh. Okay. And now a very late second gas. I'm expecting the armory to go down in 2 seconds. Right? I have had absolutely nothing correct so far in this entire series. But his constant marine production, he built 4. That is a lot of marines. If this is not an armory, I'm actually gonna freak a little bit. And he's also continuing Hellion production, going up to 8 right now. Maybe it's a fake Hellbat all in. Or it's just a 4 marine drop. This guy is legit impossible to read. I feel like it would be easier for Dark if he just doesn't scout. Because even with full vision, I have no clue what's going on. Like, I'm seeing the Banshee and the extra gas. Okay, it's going to be Mac. And he's just pushing. He doesn't have an armory, right? Did he forget it? No, this is the build. Flowing 800 minerals during this. One hell of a build. Oh, Medevac's gonna get cleared. 1200 minerals. Okay, we have a Baneling Nest that's halfway done and a lot of links on the way. Is Dark just gonna walk across the map and try and kill his opponent? I mean, that would be a play. A couple of workers not doing anything. There's 4 barracks at the same time. Okay, he had a 3rd gas before barracks. He doesn't have stim researching. Doesn't have e-base. He's floating infinite cash. All the signs are here for a mech game. Except for the fact that we're going to have 5 barracks. Okay, now it's going to swap this. I think he just invented this build on the spot. I don't think he's ever played this before in his life. This is a new build. Completely unique. 6 extra barracks at the same time. So he's going for 7 racks. We have 1 extra tech lab being constructed as well. I guess for combat shield. Our Hellion count is very high. What the hell has Dark scouted so far? Yeah, he's seen this. We have a fort base as well. Oh my god. How am I gonna explain this? Second factory too. Gumiho is doing something. He is cooking something up. I'm not sure if I want a taste of it. I think Dark also has no clue what's going on though. All he's seen is Hellion Banshee. Dark really wants to scout though. And he sees the double E-base because they haven't been proxied well. So if the plan was to pretend to play mech, then that plan failed. And I think that is what the plan was. And boy, did he trick me. These guys are also gonna get blasted, I hope, before they enter the mineral line. The Thunderdome. Oh, walk right into this refinery. We have Burrow coming up. And our first drop that's going to hit about 2 minutes later than the usual attack hits. With potentially less marines. No, okay, it's gonna be more marines. He already has 24. So he has a very high marine count. He has 2 tech labs. None of these barracks are currently producing. And we have 2 factories and a fort base. I wish I knew what was going on. But sometimes in life it's nice to just kind of jump in blind, you know? Just trust the process. Gumiho is up in supply by 20. How that happened, only he knows. While also having a fort base and 6 more workers. This is the type of dark magic that science can't explain quite yet. But boy, do I love it. There's also almost no creeper on the top side. I guess one of the main things that Gumiho hasn't really invested in is tanks and mines. Like, he hardly has any, you know? There's like not great splash. And in these helmets, they're fun, but that's really all they are. They're for fun. They're not for a real relationship, you know? Can be seen with those. Can introduce those to your parents. Freaking Hellbat. Not against Banelings. Are you insane? You need mines and tanks. You can go steady with those. 4 more barracks. We're going to 11 racks here. And that is also interesting. This guy has so many bio units and like 2 medevacs total. He has 4 medevacs total. He just stimmed. It's gonna take these 2 medevacs 15 years to heal. That's like, no, not the drugs. Not again. Hey, he's nice setups. I'm gonna give him that. He's very nice setups. He's adding in some command centers too. So he's gonna have a much faster base than last game because that was very late last game. He still has this position as well. It's not very strong though. It only has 2 mines. I think the only thing that Gumiho is going for him is that Dark doesn't know how little mines there are here. Otherwise, this would just get blasted instantly. And he's moving very well. Gumiho, that is. Oh, here we go. We need to pick up on those marines. Mine shots are going to be fairly mediocre. We have a massive link flood coming in. And that should kill something here at the 3rd base. This army is going to move back. We have some reinforcements coming in as well. Mines now burrowing. Control is apparently good enough as these mines don't hit anything. This base is not falling, but 8 SCVs are going down. 9 SCVs going down. 2 finishes up for Gumiho. This army needs to be picked up, and it does get picked up. That's real nice. These mines not quite doing the work yet that we wish they were doing. Dark is opting for ultras here, by the way, which is very rare, especially given the fact that we have 11 barracks, which makes it easy to produce high numbers of marauders if these ever turn into tech labs. We have 2 more starports, Caduceus reactor, and 3 mines on the way, and the 4 barracks idling. I think he forgot to put them in a control group, to be honest. This base is gonna fall, but he has a backup. So really, it's not the end of the world. This army here is by itself. These 2 medevacs are gonna join up soon. Dark actually needs to trade somewhat well, and he's doing an okay job at that. But he needs to continue doing it because his work account is balls. I didn't even realize that, but boy does he have a bad work account. His creep spread on the top side is still really bad as well. Can we get a scan over here? Probably have to at some point. This base is not going to get up. And he's forgetting his 3-3 upgrades too. The cash is here. 5th base is up. 4th base is going up. Oh, we need to up it. Up the depot wall. What are we doing with those 3 starports, by the way? Okay, we're getting reactors. We got Caduceus reactor, and now we should get advanced ballistics. If we don't get advanced ballistics here, I have absolutely no clue what's going on. Do these barracks... No? No tech labs yet? They're just here for jokes? Does he maybe think that he has more tech labs? Yeah, he's queuing up marauders. Like 3-4 marauders being built at a time. That is not great. So all of these should be tech labs. Oh, we're gonna have a bit of a fight here. Big preemptive stim. Not loving the vibes here either. Mine count is significantly better though. We're at 16 right now. Hellbats are banging here too. This is here. The Hellbats actually are useful. If there's no Banes whatsoever. Yeah, absolutely great. Dark meanwhile is trying to harass this 3rd base. It's gonna kill this 4th. 5th is still up and mining. The worker counts are just so low for Dark that even when he does these things, it's not like his eco is super booming, you know? Dark is still always one bad fight away from losing this game, and that worries me a little bit for him. Liberator production now starts as we have 6 new overlords on the way. I bet they're for overseers or because he was afraid of losing a lot of overlords. Gumiho's army is going to be very fierce. He still hasn't used these 4 barracks quite yet. Let's pretend like they don't exist anymore so I can stop mentioning it. Instead we're going to focus on the high liberator count that's about to hit the field. Mine count is still at 14 as well. There. I'm not saying that Gumiho is winning, but if these 2 armies clash in like a straight up engagement, I do believe that Gumiho wins. When these liberators are in position, when these mines are burrowed in good spots. The problem is that I don't think Dark really wants to fight. Dark's just running away from the army, and wherever the army isn't, that's where he's gonna go. And he's running by with links, he's doing stuff, and he's having a good old time. These 2 drops are now heading nowhere so far. I think we're gonna see a maxed out push. Dark ideally would be adding in some type of caster, whether it's going to be the parasitic bomb, Viper with the parasitic bombs, and maybe blinding clouds, mainly parasitic bomb, or if it's going to be the infestor with the fungal. I don't care so much, but I would love to see it. I think right now the only real viable plan that Dark has is going for some type of base trade. This thing is gonna get knocked down. Nidus network on the way, which is wild. Look at the banks as well, they're so similar. They're so similar. Like, if these 11 barracks had tech labs, the reproduction ability for Gumiho would honestly be very close to what a Zerg can do with larva, right? You have 21 larva, you have 11 barracks. You can pump a lot of marauders really freaking quickly with that, let me tell you. Vehicle plating level 3 is on the way right now. 3-3 has finished as well. If Gumiho can get a read on where this army is, and he can kind of push this back and then push out that lane instantly like he's doing right now, that could be extremely scary. Mines need to start moving forward with this. Liberators need to move in unison as well. That is not what's happening here. We're actually seeing, I guess, a lot of these units being left at home. Where are the Liberators? We have 8 of them. 5 of them are just at home. He forgot to set a rally point for it. This is the second big blunder here, building-wise, that Gumiho is making. Okay, now he finally gets these rally points going. We don't even have advanced ballistics yet either, so we don't have the lib range. I still believe his army is insanely good. He has 155 army supply right now. Just use the F2 hotkey, please, for the love of God. I'm not a huge proponent of it, but in this case, come on. Okay, infestors are around, they're borrowed. We have individual drops now, forcing the army back. These are not supposed to be dealing damage. If they deal damage, woohoo, great. If they don't, also fine, because they're pulling portions of the army back. And because Gumiho has a bigger army, that is completely fine. It's a full stim for an overlord. That is insane. I guess he has enough energy, but still, that is pretty nutty. That is pretty nutty. Okay. Liberator count here is going to continue growing. We have 5 set up currently in the main base. I'm going to say set up, I mean idling, doing nothing. This base is going to fall. Liberators here would have been great defensively. Liberators with his army would have been great as well. How many mines do we still have? Only 4, so that's a very low number. Not a fan of. Some of these are now going to actually see some use. Lots of changelings going down. This army is going to get cleaned up because there's really nothing to support it. So Ultra should be capable of just walking over and dealing with it, and that's exactly what we're seeing happen here. 160 supply to 184. We have this what is it, 4-5 marine drop plus marauder that's gonna fly into these queens. They're still alive from the early game, by the way. Parasitic bombs going ham here on the top side as well. This base is now gonna get rebuilt, but we see the issue for Gumiho is that he never got a fight with his entire army, partially because big portions of his entire army are stuck in the main base. There's a lot of freaking supply in there. GG gets called. I mean, this is a sad way of ending this series. I think Gumiho showed some really fun games, some interesting styles, and he got some inexplicable leads. But in the end, it's not going to be enough as Dark takes another win in the Korean StarCraft League. That's going to be it for me today. Hope you all did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.